Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends, I'm back today with another Tacticus showcase. This time, we're adding the fourth machine of war to the game, Galatian, the Ultramarine Redemptor Dreadnought. I think this Dreadnought might be the most powerful machine of war, particularly in terms of raw damage, and shortly you'll see why. You know my format for the unit showcases by now. We'll start by looking at the character and the kit, then we'll examine abilities and discuss some nuances and corner case scenarios, before concluding with a character infographic and usability. So, without further ado. Galatian is a Redemptor Dreadnought, one of the most fearsome war engines that fight along the Space Marines, and the art department have beautifully translated that to game. Galatian has an incredible primary ability. Duty Eternal deploys Galatian on the battlefield as a stationary summon that takes up a 3 hex space. You'll notice on the bottom that the primary ability has a 2-turn cooldown, which means that Galatian can only deploy on round 3 onwards. The ability also costs 3 munitions per use, and I'll break down the Munition Economy later on. His stats are shown here. Galatian has a 5-hit melee power attack and a 6-hit 2-range projectile attack. I'll get into his ability, Ancient Fury, during the gameplay. Galatian has many traits: Summon, Big Target, Overwatch, Vehicle, and Mechanical, none of which are new to the game. I want to highlight that he is a mechanical summon because yes, that means he triggers Exeter Row and can be made to attack again through Tangita and Actus. Galatian's secondary ability is Macro Plasma Incinerator. It targets a hex and the 2 hexes behind it for 1 round. The first time an enemy ends its movement in the marked area, it takes 3 plasma damage hits. This ability is not affected by modifiers and cannot be a critical hit. It starts on a 1-turn cooldown. We can start with the secondary ability. You can target any hex on the map and the 2 hexes behind it are also marked with this glowing hex effect. If a unit remains stationary, then nothing happens and the hex effect disappears at the end of turn. If a unit moves onto the marked hexes, then it takes the plasma damage from Galatian and then the hex effect goes away. Probably the only other thing to mention here is that there is no friendly fire. The primary ability is the one I'm most excited about. Deploying a Dreadnought on the battlefield is incredibly fun and appealing. You have to wait until round 3 to do so, but after round 3 when you select the ability, you can see hexes where the Dreadnought can be deployed. As highlighted on this map, the Dreadnought cannot deploy everywhere and follows the same rules as other units with a larger standing profile. The entire unit has to be on a single elevation level, which limits your deployment options slightly. Once deployed, Galatian cannot immediately attack unless you have Tangita or Actus, who can both encourage an extra attack. At the end of your turn, Galatian enters into its Overwatch mode, functioning like a powerful static summon. Its passive ability is Ancient Fury. There is a lot of text here that essentially says it makes an area of effect attack with both its melee and ranged profiles. Let's look at a couple of scenarios next. This machine of war will be excellent for the mechanical team. It does massive damage on its own but also triggers Exeter Row's out of turn attacks. In addition, as a mechanical summon, Galatian can be encouraged to attack again through Tangita and Actus's passive abilities. Airns, a Tacticus ambassador and friend, has put together this gameplay reel for us to enjoy. He manages to get about 1.3 million damage with Galatian added to the mechanical team against a legendary 2 Screamer Killer. For comparison, previous runs were coming in at about 1 million damage. It's pretty easy to see how the static mechanical unit will work against a static enemy boss. However, there is value and use for Galatian beyond that. Ghazghkull has abilities that constantly aim to attack the highest health unit. Galatian's health is much higher than comparable player characters, so he will always eat Ghazghkull's attacks. This can be super helpful when combined with Galatian's 3 hex size in order to pin Ghazghkull in place and prevent him from moving around, which therefore increases the damage potential of your team significantly. When Galatian meets Rogal Dorn's battle tank, sadly Galatian loses the battle. If you attempt to put him in the path of Rogal Dorn, Galatian instantly dies due to the text on Rogal Dorn's armoured might. I think the Dreadnought will still be helpful in this fight, as it is reasonably easy to predict Dorn's movements and therefore have Galatian remain effective. After raids, we can consider Galatian's role and usefulness in player versus player matches. Galatian's stats are monstrous. He has the highest health stat in the game compared to similar playable characters, almost doubling their health. For example, a level 50 primary ability gives Galatian 19,940 health. The highest playable characters are Corrodius and Tyrant Guard, with 11,987 health each. Galatian's armor stat is also on the 100th centile, easily surpassing Cut Skoden, who is currently top ranked. I'll go into those numbers later on, but I'm just bringing them up now to illustrate that Galatian is really strong. How might that affect PvP and fighting Galatian? We know that the AI will use the primary ability for each machine of war once per battle. So, Galatian can be deployed in 3 player versus player game modes. In Guild War and Tournament Arena, summons do not count towards victory nor defeat. So once you've defeated the enemy characters, Galatian is automatically defeated. Arena is potentially a bit more annoying, as you have to kill both the enemy characters and the summons. The only advice that I can offer is to try and end the fight before turn 3, as that means Galatian will not be able to deploy. The comments about munitions and cost are unavoidable. I've done some math here to highlight the munition economy as I understand it. Please let me know if I've left a source of munitions out. You get 3 munitions per weekly calendar. Over a 5-week live ops season, that is 15 munitions. You also get 5 munitions per battle pass, and you get 1 battle pass per live ops. You get 6 munitions from reward crates every arena season. 5 arena seasons per live ops is another 30 munitions over the course of the 5 weeks. You also get 3 munitions per level from incursions. As a free-to-play player, you get 9 tickets per incursion, potentially giving you another 27 tickets every live ops cycle. I will put an asterisk here. You only get these munitions until level 10. After that, you stop earning munitions per level. So including incursions, you're getting 77 munitions per 5 weeks. That's roughly 15 per week, meaning that you can use Galatian's primary ability as a free-to-play player roughly 5 times per week. If you don't include the incursions, that is 50 munitions per 5 weeks, therefore 10 per week, or roughly 3 activations of Galatian's primary ability per week. This breakdown uses free-to-play calculations. Spending money can provide even more uses. However, the value is not just in using Galatian offensively. Particularly for modes like Guild War and Arena, you still get value from that primary ability for free. That is to say, your opponents will still have to fight Galatian without costing you any munitions. Okay, so we've talked through his kit and usability. On this slide, I've listed Galatian's stats at various thresholds. Level 26 equates to Silver 1, level 35 equates to Gold 1, level 44 equates to Diamond 1, and level 50 equates to Diamond 3. Feel free to pause this slide and take notes or screenshots if you'd like. The character is summarized on screen in my usual infographic style. Galatian's numbers on the right are at level 50. Tawin, a Tacticus ambassador and friend, has run those comparatively against the existing characters. As we've already said, Galatian's health stat is almost double the highest playable character currently in the game, putting Galatian in the top percentile compared to playable characters. His armor stat is also spectacular, and also in the top centile. Tawin and I are redoing how we present the damage number. Instead of standardizing this against an average enemy, the numbers here are a mathematical calculation. The damage stat multiplied by the number of hits multiplied by the pierce ratio. That number is then ranked against other characters in a centile fashion. Essentially, it measures how powerful the character is against high armor targets. I'll maybe sign off there. I've just started a Patreon for my channel. If you are fortunate enough to be in a position to support me and my content, I'd love it if you could consider checking it out. If not, I've left my refer a friend code here on screen. If you are a newer player, you can enter it and earn yourself 100 Blackstone. It is single use though, so choose who you support carefully. Bye for now. A quick addendum to this video. Tacticus are celebrating their 2nd anniversary at the moment with a raffle event on their website. Tacticusgame.com takes you to this webpage. Scroll to the bottom to see the potential rewards and ways to earn raffle tickets. You can enter my creator code, Nandi with 2 I's, for 5 raffle tickets. You can also shout out your favorite creator for another 3 tickets, and I'd love if you put in one of my video URLs here. Good luck!
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi.